Hi, it's Martin here today talking about reflection to your greatness. Now, really important that we do choose to reflect. And many people I find tend to put a barrier up. They don't want to think about the past. They don't want to go back. They don't want to experience it. They just don't want to go back through all those emotions because they feel that they tend to take them in the direction that they don't want to go. They know that the experience that they've had, the emotional connection that they've got to it is going to hold them back. But the only way it can hold us back is when we choose to hold us back. We have the power of choice. So what I'm going to actually do is reflect to your greatness. Okay, so I'm not going to say reflection of your greatness, reflection to your greatness, to who you are today. So let's face it, we all arrive the same way. We all arrive the same way. So, what was the chance of you being here right now? Like, I really want you to think about that. The actual estimated chance, I believe it's a 400 trillion to 1 chance of you being here. 400 trillion to 1 chance of you being here. So, there is definitely a reason for you being here. And I believe with all the personal growth work that I've done myself, the spiritual work that I've done myself, I believe that we choose to come here. That's my belief. So when we're starting right, we're going right the way back. We're going all the way back to the beginning. So we're focusing on the arrival. So we've chosen to come here. The chance of us making it in physical form, 400 trillion to 1. So already from the moment that we arrive, there is greatness that's been created from the moment that we arrive. Now then what happens after that is naturally we are born and we are a young child. We don't know, we're a baby. We don't know what to do. We don't know what is danger. We just come into the world, and in all fairness, we need that love and support. We need that nurturing because that nurturing is going to help us grow. And that is what's so important when we look at all areas of our life, whether that be in a job, it be in business, it be in relationships, it be with a relationship to ourselves. Nurturing your growth is so important. It's so important as we reflect. And I really want you to focus now in this stage, in this state of reflection. And some of you, no doubt, right away will be triggered. Right from the moment that I started this video, you will have been triggered. And that's fine. And throughout the video, there's no doubt you're going to be triggered. And what's important to be understanding here is that I'm solely a messenger. I've solely chosen to come and share this message right now with you. And if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, no problem. But there's probably somewhere and at some point in your life that it will, and you'll definitely know somebody along your journey that it will resonate with. So from the moment that we're born, we need that support. We need that nurturing to help us evolve, to help us grow, to help us survive. And what ends up happening, and you'll know this yourself, especially if you've got children of your own, or you've been around children, or you see children, they bring joy. They bring joy. We can't help but look at a baby, a little baby, and see it playing around or just lying there smiling or whatever it is, and we're like, oh, isn't it so cute? And we laugh. And we feel the love. We have that level of connection with them. And we're sending them love because we want them to grow and evolve into something so beautiful and make an impact in the world. And this is exactly where you were. This is exactly where you were. There was people around you, whether it be your parents, whether it be for the family members, friends, people who saw you in the street while you're in the pram. You brought them so much joy. You brought them so much joy in that moment. And they could feel your greatness. They could feel that love you had inside for them. Just for being here and experiencing this physical life from the minutes, the weeks, the days, the months, the early years, they could feel that. And one of the most beautiful things around was being in that state as a baby, as we start to grow a little bit over those coming weeks and months and early years. One of the biggest things that impacts us as a child is our ability to have an open mind. We don't have an attachment to anything. We have a totally open mind. We're like looking around. Wow, this is cool. What is that over there? What's that noise? What is that smell? Like all these things that are starting to happen, because we weren't really experiencing that to the degree that we are once we are born. And that has a massive impact on our growth. That has a massive impact on the nurturing that's taking place. If you've got children, let me know. Comment right now below and let me know what that feeling's been, seeing your children or grandchildren or even friends' children, family members' children. When you've seen the child looking around, you know, when you're looking down at the child and you're playing around and it's just looking up at you and then it's looking over there, and you know, it's an incredible experience. I recently had it with a good friend of mine when he brought his daughter over and was playing in a pram, and she's just like, wow. And she's giggling, and it was just such an impactful moment for myself. So they have an open mind as they're growing, and we have to nurture that. We have to teach them the things that are going to help them from a point of survival, from a point of not creating injury or stress in any way, shape or form. So we're giving them all this love and attention. And what is that going to naturally create? That's going to create greatness within. It's going to create a level of awareness. And we've all experienced this. We've all been through this journey together. And what ends up happening then after that is we start to go through this experience of under the influence. And I'm not talking about starting to drink and take drugs now at this young age. What I'm talking about is under the influence, because we are influenced via our family members, via our friends. We are influenced greatly by the belief system from our parents, from those who raise us. Because remember, between 0 and 7 to 8 years of age, that's where our belief systems are created. So we have a lot to actually question our parents. But at the end of the day, that's not their fault either, because their parents have passed it on. So it's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And we live our life from the moment that we're born through those early years and continuously to this point right now. We have lived our life from a point of being under the influence of somebody else's belief system and not our own. So many of us who don't choose to work on ourselves via personal growth, spiritual growth, more mental awareness, all these different things we can do to help shift us. Because remember, if we don't take action towards ourselves, on ourselves becoming better, we're never going to shift. We're never going to actually create new values, new belief systems, and we totally can do that. Those people who tell you can't do not know what they're talking about. They're living a scarcity life. They're choosing to disempower themselves, and they're choosing to disempower you by voicing that opinion and belief onto you. And you can choose to accept that, or you can choose to deny what they're saying and evolve and move forward. Now, when we're under the influence, and as I mentioned, family members play a great role, friends play a great role. But one of the biggest roles that influences us throughout our very, very early years of life is the educational system. And this isn't a crack at anyone who's in the educational system as in teachers. I have some great friends who are teachers. However, it's very, very structured to be industrialized, which is an age that has passed. It's left us. Why would we want to live in the past? We have to focus on obviously moving forward. Now, the angle with this, and what's so important to be aware of around this, is that because of that educational system that we've gone through, and it's very structured in regards to come here, sit down, pay attention, listen, write what I tell you to write, answer these questions. You can only have a break when the bell goes. You can only do these things at certain times. You're not allowed to have time off. You have to ask for time off. We have to check if that's all right. Why aren't you obeying by these rules? Why are you late? All these things which obviously create a level of punctuality in our life, and also help us be more from a point of fitting into society. So not being more as in self, being more as in fitting into society, being a sheep, following. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with those people who choose to accept that, but what I am choosing is to, and what I am explaining here is around the greatness that now at this moment in time of me sharing this message is actually being crushed. From that moment, from the arrival, from the nurturing of the growth, from all that love from the people you met, what was it doing? It was expanding you. And now we're in an environment, a system that's now crushing us. It's suppressing us. So we now have to start looking at, as we've gone through, as we've reflected, that every single choice we made in those early years, because our parents weren't around, or those people who were bringing us up weren't around all the time. There was times when we were at school. I remember walking out of school and starting to walk home. And my mum got a phone call and it was like, Martin's left the school and he's walking home and he won't come back. I remember the head boy or whatever he was called chasing me and saying, you've got to come back, you've got to come back. I was like, no, I don't have to do whatever I want. Wayne Dyer talks around scurvy elephant. And looking back and just thinking about this in this moment right now, I'm like, wow, I really was. I followed what would make my mum happy, but when I wasn't happy and I didn't want to be there, I was just like off and away because it didn't make sense for me to be there. Now, I abided because I was terrified of my mother. And if it went beyond my mother, it went to my dad, and then I was in big trouble. But my mother usually dealt with it. However, when we are making choices on a daily basis, they have consequences. Every single action that we take, decision that we make, has a consequence, whether it be good or bad, which is only a judgment. But we have to accept the consequences. So we have to accept, when we reflect, when we go back, we have to accept that every single thing has happened for a reason. And therefore, it's helped us become who we are today. It's helped us find who we truly are today. And there's going to be times when you go back and you reflect and you're walking along your journey and you're going to be saying to yourself, I'm not grateful for that. I don't see why that happened. That shouldn't have happened. And these attachments we have, as in the conditioning we've allowed to happen from society that says this is bad, this is good. And we have this emotional attachment to it. So it could be losing a family member, it could be losing a friend, and we have a negative attachment to it. But maybe that person had done everything that they needed to do and it was time for them to move on. They had shared the message that they needed to do. They'd experienced everything that they needed to experience and they were ready to move on. We have this big society perception that we need to be in our 80s, 90s, or 100s before we're able to leave. Why? Because some people died at 21 and they're still living today. They chose to just be a part of the system. They chose to not continue to grow. They chose not to actually find true happiness. They chose to just live Groundhog Day. Now, this may be triggering you right now. And if it is, I'm here to tell you that you need this message. You don't need to feel angry at me and be attacking me or verbally cursing me on the other side of this video. This is actually a message that you need to hear. And if you are feeling triggered, then clearly you needed to hear it. But there's no doubt people right now that are listening to this that are going, total sense, really needed to hear this. Yes, this is exactly how I feel. This makes total sense to me. Because remember, every single choice we make has a consequence, which means there's a result. And for us to be able to grow, for us to be able to experience our greatness, we have to be taking choices. We have to be making choices. We have to be taking action every single day to help us find who we are. Because for many of us, we are living that Groundhog Day. For many of us, we are just existing and we don't know any different. I had an interview today and I said to the person that was interviewing me, when I reflect back to that moment, I thought I was happy because I didn't know any different. And I may be in this moment right now thinking, I'm happy, but maybe there's another level that I haven't even experienced yet. And this is why, for me personally, I choose to continually challenge myself. I can choose to continually look at all those thoughts that are going through my mind in any given moment. Which do I want to act on? Which do I know is actually going to take me forward? In every single way. Even if I look back and go, well, that wasn't the result I wanted, it still helped me go forward. So have a good think as you reflect. What are the things that you've chosen to do that the results have not been exactly what you wanted, not been the result that you originally set out, but when you reflect back, you're able to see that there was a huge level of growth from the result that's massively impacting you, because that does play a huge, huge role in regards to you experiencing and becoming aware of your true greatness. It plays a massive role, because what I believe and what I found is that who you are all comes down to everything that's happened in the past and brought you along to this present moment right now. Your parents' belief system, the foods you were given to eat, the drinks you were given, the time you spent in nature, where you went to school, were you homeschooled, the people around you at school, your teachers. I can remember back to my primary school teachers, those who really impacted me, and those who I'm like, oh, I don't really want to think about that person ever again. But they impacted me. You know, one of them that I was terrified of always said, you can't get blood out of a stone. Or it's like getting blood out of a stone talking to this classroom. And we were all terrified of her. But I remember her, and I understand what she means now, because I've dealt with that along my journey with people. And no doubt you have. And comment below, blood out of a stone, if you've ever experienced that, whether it be talking to other people, teaching other people, whatever it may be, that you feel. It might be with your own children, trying to get an answer from them, trying to find out what's going on, trying to get, it's literally like blood out of the stone. So who you are is all focused around your greatness, your true greatness, because many of us focus in this point right now, and in fact, I'm going to say we don't even focus. We're not even aware of where we're at. We're just living that Groundhog Day. We're just going and we're just experiencing an existing life with no understanding and no attachment and no connection to it. We're just existing. Why would you want to come here and just exist? Ask yourself that question. Am I existing? Ask yourself honestly. When was the last time you reflected on who you are, where you're at, where you want to go, what you want to achieve, what impact you want to make in the world? Have a really good think about that. Because if you're not doing it daily, then you're not aware of your growth. But that doesn't mean that you don't have greatness within you. That doesn't mean that you're not great now. It's 100% that you are great. It just means that we can keep rising. Our vibration can keep rising. And that's what we want to do. We want to keep, for us to really experience this true beauty of life. Remember, 400 trillion to 1 chance of you being here in this physical form. What a gift that is. What a gift that is. So we're going along and we've got the greatness. And everything that's happened as we reflect on the past has a huge significance to who you are today and where you're going to go. But more importantly, that level of appreciation for every single moment that's happened in your past. Because for many of us, we don't choose to accept, and acceptance is a massive one here. We don't choose to accept that everything happened to help us be who we are today. To help us be who we are today. Physically, mentally aware of who we are. But when we go a step deeper, where we stop opening the doors outward and we focus opening the door inwards, we connect with that spiritual awareness of who we are. And that is where it gets super, not only deep, but super exciting. Because we start to truly appreciate the real greatness, the truth of who we are. And we accept that we are far more than what we may believe we are, or have been led to believe we are from other people, or what we see in a mirror. We start to believe that we truly are an incredible divine being with true infinite greatness within us. And that's what you have, that's what you possess. So please choose in this moment right now to just close your eyes. So just close your eyes. If you're driving, you're watching this, whatever you're doing, well, you shouldn't be watching it if you're driving, but you listen to me. And please don't close your eyes if you are driving or you're dealing with machinery or whatever it may be. But just have a moment to think and reflect and just say, I appreciate every single part of my journey, because every single part of my journey has been a choice that I have made, a result of an action that I have made, and it's helped me become the person that I am today. Just have a moment to think about that for yourself, because you truly are here to impact lives. And many people who I speak to, they just don't understand how they can do it. But as I mentioned, from the moment you were born, you were impacting lives. And along your journey, you've been impacting lives. And when you went through that conditioning phase, that phase where you allowed all that conditioning to happen, And we have to take ownership. We have to say, I allowed it to happen. If you're going to choose to blame people, then your life's never going to get better. Because what you're basically saying is your life will only get better when they change. But no, you have to be the change. Gandhi said it. You have to be the change. So for you to be able to impact lives in this moment right now and in the future, you must look inward. You must choose to actually open the door inward and find out who you truly are. And when you're finding and appreciating your level of greatness, that's when you will impact the lives on the level that you truly wish to, or may not even be aware of that you're doing. I don't do this for the accolades. I don't do this for the appreciation. I don't do this for everybody jumping on the live or on a YouTube video or whatever and saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that and I am grateful for that, but I don't need it. I don't desire it. I don't set out to do a live and go, how many people have jumped on, how many have interacted, what have been the comments. I have no attachment to that. I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for you watching right now. But I have no attachment to that, because if I do, that is going to be disempowering me. That's going to be controlling me, which means what's going to happen to my greatness? It's going to be crushed. My vibration is going to be dropped. And this is exactly the same for you. And I know there's people out there, I've spoken to people who have said, why haven't people come onto my live video? Why haven't people thanked me for this? I bought that person a gift. Why didn't they thank me? Why didn't they give me a phone call? Why haven't they given me a gift back? Wow, really? You want to live your life in that level of disempowerment, of that low vibration? And they turn around and say, but I do so much personal growth work and I go to all these events and I listen to all these speakers and I read all these books. And I'm like, well, clearly you're not getting the message from them and you're not acting on them to learn and get the actual connection, the spiritual connection to the result. You're just focused on you. From a negative perception, I've given that, which is obviously great, you're giving, but you're expecting. And when we expect in life, when we have an expectation, I'm not talking about manifestation here, I'm talking about an expectation. I deserve this because I've done this. We're disempowering ourselves. We need to let go. We need to find out, and this is why I said before, who you are is so, so important to figure out how you're going to be able to move forward. How you're going to be able to impact those lives. You know, when people turn around to me and say, Martin, you're just so inspirational. What does that mean? It means, Martin, you're so in spirit. And it's resonating with me. And no doubt people have said it to you along your journey with whatever it may be. And if they haven't, it's not a problem. But if they haven't, it might be because you've not been around the right people. But also you've not opened the door inward and you've not connected with your true inner self, with your true inner message. Inspiration is in spirit, going inward. And naturally when we connect with ourselves, we realize our greatness. We realize that we are here to share that greatness. We are going to inspire other people. There's no two ways about it. It's 100% the honest truth. And I don't believe my vocabulary is good enough for me to be able to explain it to you. But I know how it feels. And I can tell you right now, it's life-changing, especially when you think that you're in a place of happiness. And then all of a sudden, there's like this level that you step onto and you're like, whoa, this is cool. Where did this come from? And then you want more of it. And what happens when you want more and you're hungry for it and you're actually taking action, you're making better decisions, you start to get better results. Your life starts to get better. What you experience gets better. And what ends up being a byproduct of that is the lives that you impact. You impact people's lives. They start to become better, not because of you, but because of you being in spirit, they chose to take the actions. It's when people say, she or he changed my life. No, you changed your own life. Give yourself the credit. You were inspired by them because of them being in spirit, but you're the one, please understand, you are the one who chose to take action. And the results that you're experiencing, that connection that you're experiencing, that higher vibration that you're experiencing is a result of your choices. And you must experience pain and frustration and anger to be able to understand exactly what it feels like when it does come into that moment where it's all joy and happiness and love. And that's really where I want to finish this, is love. You know, I've spoken before around this, and it's a great belief of mine. We came from divine, infinite love, something that we don't understand in this physical life. Now, it's irrelevant whether you believe this or not. This is my belief, and I'm sharing it with you right now. But it makes total sense to me, and I believe that when you choose to listen to the words and go within and connect within, that you will appreciate exactly what it's about. We came from divine love. We're a piece of divine love. Therefore, what have we got within us? From the moment we're born, that 400 trillion to 1 chance of being here. That's love that brought us here. That's love that's nurturing us. That's love that we're giving back and making all those people so happy. That's love that's helping us actually grow and evolve. Those people who are taking their time to come and support us and educate us and help us grow and learn how to read, write, speak, whatever it may be. That's love. It's irrelevant how we're viewing it and what I said earlier around the conditioning in society. But all that influence is love, because these people are coming and they're sharing what they believe is the truth. But we've got our own inner truth. Those choices you're making is from a place of love, because every single choice, as I mentioned, has a consequence. And therefore, every single consequence, whether it be judged as a negative consequence or a positive consequence, is love, because it's helping you be who you are today. It's helping you reflect on your greatness all the way to this point right now, where you truly are divine love and greatness. So who you are is all about you accepting, choosing to accept that this moment right now, you are the best version of yourself than you've ever been. You've ever been. Even if you're feeling low right now, even if you're feeling like life's getting on top of you and you're allowing the society conditioning to push you down, as in, I haven't got enough money, there's big problems in the world, I'm not feeling great in my health. These are all the things to actually look at and go, I have to be in this moment to be able to experience financial abundance, great health, no pressure from work, incredible relationships. This is why it's so important that we reflect and go, thank you to all those people who have been in my life, whether they be family members, friends, intimate relationships, partners, whatever. Everything is so important in this moment, because they are who have helped mold you into the person that you are, and you have helped mold you into the person that you are today. And only you can choose to tap into your divine greatness, to understand that you are pure love, and to choose to share that love on a daily basis to the best of your ability, and to be aware that when you find yourself in a state where you are not only judging other people and sending a low vibrational energy to them, but when you are also sharing a low vibrational energy to yourself and you're picking on yourself. I'm not immune to this. I am totally guilty. But I am also very, very, very aware. And that awareness is what helps me become more, experience more, and choose to share more with the world. I'm just focusing on being the best version of myself and understanding that all I have within me is pure divine love. And that is why, as I finish this right now, that is why you have true greatness within you. And my encouragement for you right now is to tap into it, feel it, connect with it, appreciate it, be grateful for it, and share it with the rest of the world, because we truly are ready to experience your beauty, your love, and your greatness. Thank you so much for your time watching. I am very, very grateful. I look forward to speaking to you again soon. As always, peace, love, and happiness, and bye for now.